Pioneers are explorers. Pioneers are innovators. Pioneers are leaders. We are Marietta College. We are pioneers. Find out how you can become a PIO at www.marietta.edu.
Coming up today on NewsCenter 15, suspected gang shooting in Sacramento.
And update in Minneapolis no-knock warrant case.
We'll have these stories and more. NewsCenter 15 starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Thursday's edition of News Center 15. I'm Cole Longcore.
And I'm Zach Heiserett.
Topping off our news this afternoon, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has sued to protect abortion rights, asking a court to recognize the right to abortion under the state constitution. The Democrat governor also is seeking to overturn a 176-old ban in the state. The lawsuit filed Thursday against prosecutors in 13 counties with an abortion clinic comes as the United States Supreme Court conservative majority considers allowing states to ban abortions much earlier in pregnancy and potentially overturning the right.
The United States Navy is retiring 9 recently built littoral combat ships, which cost about $4.5 billion to build. Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Mike Gilday said earlier this week that it is better to have a smaller lethal force than a larger force that's less ready, less lethal, and less capable. The oldest of the littoral combat ships is 10 years old, and Congress must sign off on the Navy's proposal to decommission the ships ahead of their projected service life. Currently, the Navy's reason for decommissioning these ships is that they aren't prepared for modern war and are weaker than other ships currently in commission.
Wonder what the weather looks like today.
Here to provide a first look at our current conditions is Addison Painter.
Weather conditions today aren't too bad. It's been a dry week. We would like to think a lot of rain though. But today, 57, starting to warm up again. It feels like 66. It is mostly cloudy. The UV is not too bad today with 3, pretty moderate, and the air quality is good. Pollen levels are high though as we get into the spring season. There's a 9-mile-per-hour southwest wind, and the humidity is a little higher today at 64%. And then that sun will be setting today at 7:55 p.m. That's going to be all for today's weather forecast. I'll be back again a little bit later with the extended forecast, but until then, back to you guys at the desk.
Police believe at least 5 shooters were involved in a mass shooting in downtown Sacramento last weekend, and that was gang-related violence. The police department says there is a gunfight between at least 2 groups of men. 6 people were killed in the bloodshed and 12 were wounded. The injured include 2 brothers who have been taken into custody in connection with the massacre. No one has yet been charged with homicide.
Minnesota prosecutors have declined to file charges against a Minneapolis police SWAT team officer who fatally shot Amir Locke while executing an early morning no-knock search warrant in February. Locke was staying on a couch in an apartment when authorities entered without knocking as part of an investigation into a homicide. Locke was not named in the warrant, and authorities said he was shot seconds after he pointed a gun in the direction of the officers. Locke's family has questioned that, saying body camera footage appeared to show he was startled awake. It also shows Locke holding a gun before he was shot.
Coming up, A musician opens up his home to refugees.
And a college sending significant aid to the Ukraine.
Stay with us.
Hey, this is Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, many of us feel anxious. Mindfulness can help you ease those feelings. My nonprofit is partnering with Headspace to offer free content to help you stress less. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace.
Here's to the straggly ones, the first ones. But hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones, and the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
The Boston Marathon announced it's banning runners from Russia and Belarus, which includes 63 runners 2 weeks before the race. Russian and Belarusian athletes are not residents of those countries, but can still compete. But they can't run under their flags. The race is set for April 18th with 30,000 runners. Since the invasion of Ukraine, sports teams from Russia and Belarus have been banned entirely from competition in sports like soccer, Formula One, tennis, and gymnastics.
House of Representatives voted 220 to 203 to hold both Dan Scavino and Peter Navarro, former Trump administration advisors, in contempt of court. They are being held after not going to their scheduled depositions for the January 6th insurrection of the Capitol. Both men offered that they still had executive privilege to avoid cooperating. 2 Republicans voted for the resolution, but also are on the select committee.
Bruno Oveles, a founding member of the infamous Swedish band ABBA, opened up his home to a Ukrainian refugee. Over the weekend, he hosted a benefit concert for the refugees where he raised over $8 million. At the beginning of the concert, he made a speech which was issued for more support for Ukrainian refugees.
At Stanford, 40 students, alumni, and others have packed a cargo plane full of equipment to aid Ukrainians. The plane, which just started with sending some first aid supplies, quickly became something bigger. The plane was loaded and sent to Poland, where it has made its way to Ukraine. Since they sent out this aid, they have already started collecting to send out another one.
Coming up, Senate expected to confirm Supreme Court nominee.
We'll also get the latest news from Hollywood.
And what can we expect in our extended forecast? I'll be here with a look at the weather. Stay with us.
Where are we?
We're at Marietta College.
This is where we live at Marietta College.
When kids need medical care, they face life-changing experiences. They miss out on the things that make being a kid fun. Starlight Children's Foundation programs entertain and inspire hospitalized kids. Learn more at starlight.org.
Marietta, a place some people call home.
A place of athletes.
A place of discovery.
A place for the future.
Your plan.
Your future.
Go Pios.
The Senate is expected to confirm Supreme Court nominee Jackson on Thursday, securing her place as the first black woman on the high court and giving President Biden a bipartisan endorsement for his historic pick. 3 Republican senators have said they will support Jackson, who would replace Justice Breyer when he retires this summer. While the vote will be far from overwhelming bipartisan confirmations from Breyer and other justices in decades past, it will still be significant bipartisan accomplishment for Biden in the narrow 50-50 Senate after the GOP senators aggressively worked to paint Jackson as too liberal.
Legislation punishing Russia for the war in Ukraine is finally getting a vote in the U.S. Senate. Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate will vote Thursday on ending normal trade relations with Russia and banning the importation of its oil. Both bills have been bogged down for weeks. The delay has frustrated lawmakers who want to ratchet up the American response to the Ukrainian war. The trade suspension measure paves the way for President Joe Biden to enact higher tariffs on certain Russian imports. The bill banning Russian oil would codify restrictions Biden has already put into place through executive action.
Ukraine is appealing to NATO for more weapons in its fight against Russia to help prevent further atrocities like those reported in the city of Bucha. It particularly wants Germany to slash and tape so that more needed supplies can get in. NATO as an organization refuses to send troops to Ukraine or police to any no-fly zone to prevent Russia from completely overwhelming its neighbor. But individual members are supplying anti-aircraft and anti-tank weapons, as well as equipment and medical supplies for Ukraine. This is simply not enough. Ukrainian Foreign Minister has said Thursday, "My agenda is very simple. It only has 3 items on it. It is weapons, weapons, weapons." And now it's time to get some movie and music news.
Here's Grant Moore with the Hollywood Minute.
You're not dreaming. Marvel Studios has released the latest teaser for the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Benedict Cumberbatch returns as the Sorcerer Supreme when the movie hits theaters May 6th. Penelope Cruz is starting her own production company. The recent Oscar nominee plans to partner with Spain's Media Pro studio on Moon Lion, which will produce non-fiction and drama material for film and television. Imagine Dragons' latest music video, Bones, combines The Wolves of Wall Street and The Walking Dead. As the trending floor becomes a zombie nightclub, Bones is set to appear on the Sands double album, Mercury. Acts 1 and 2 due out July 1st. That's all in Hollywood. I'm Grant Moore. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Grant. Now we'll head to Addison for a look at our extended weather forecast.
How does it look out there today, Addison?
Well, I'm not sure if you guys can hear the roof right now, but it is raining. Right here's our big forecast of the United States, and you can see that we do have a lot of precipitation coming in from the west side of the country. If we want to go ahead and look closer at our area real quick. And you can see most of the storms have passed and they are more into the north, but you can see this slight storm that we have coming our way, and it's probably going to hit Parkersburg here a little later. Here we are, and you can't see anything over our head right now, but it is raining, and it probably will throughout the day. Let's go ahead and move to our 5-day forecast. So Friday, tomorrow, we got a high of 51 and a low of 37, another 60% chance of rain. And then on to Saturday, a little colder, we got a high of 45 and a low of 35 with a 60% chance of snow, so that precipitation is going to keep on coming. Sunday, we got a high of 55 and a low of 32. It's partly cloudy, but it looks like it should be clear and you should be able to stay dry that day. Monday, we got a high of 68 and a low of 36 with a 30% chance of rain, but getting closer to those spring temperatures that we want. And then on to Tuesday, we got a high of 74 and a low of 51 with some clouds in the sky, but that's okay as long as the sun is beaming. And that's going to be it for our 5-day forecast. We're going to go ahead and move to you guys again at the desk. That'll be all for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Addison. When we come back, we'll have the latest update from the world of sports.
See you in a few.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run. This is one tricky obstacle course. He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him. Oh, the fridge. Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs a water bottle. Now he's just got to get out of there. Look what dropped from the sky. Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Marietta College, home of the pioneers. A small town on the Ohio River with a tight-knit community and tons of opportunity. Find a home here at Marietta College. Bring forth a pioneer.
What are we gonna do? Ta-da! All right. Come on, every pony. Woo!
Liza, I just love how ponies are better together.
Me too. You know, same thing with Girl Scouts, Kimiko. Every day they make each other shine a little brighter.
And they make the world around them a better place. So join Girl Scouts.
And be a part of the friendship and magic.
And we're back with Grant for a look at sports.
What are we seeing out there, Grant?
I can give you the rundown right now. The Kansas City Royals and the Cleveland Guardians will kick off their 2022 season at Kauffman Stadium today. The Royals enter the year looking to continue building upon the development on their young players, including infielder Bobby Witt Jr. The Guardians, meanwhile, will look to stay in the win column behind the solid rotation if it stays healthy and hope for more offense compared to last year's lineup. The opening day pitching matchup will feature a pair of Cy Young winners and right-handers Zach Greinke and Shane Bieber. Also in MLB news, for the first time, umpires will be given microphones to provide explanations following replay reviews this season. The change should eliminate some mystery and maybe even some frustration for fans who previously had to wait until after games to find out exactly what the crew was discussing with replay headquarters. Chicago Bulls point guard Lonzo Ball will miss the remainder of the season following another setback in his recovery from surgery from a torn meniscus in his left knee. Ball's final game was on January 14th, and he had surgery 2 weeks later. The Bulls hoped a recent 10-day shutdown in activities after he experienced discomfort would resolve the issue and allow him to return to the season, but he felt pain again when he tried to ramp them up. To encourage the Washington Commanders to stay in Maryland, Maryland has approved the $400 million plan to develop the area around FedEx Field in the suburbs for the nation's capital, but it does not include money for the new stadium for the NFL team. The House voted 121 to 10 for the bill, which now goes to the Senate in less than a week to go to the state's legislation session. The measure would authorize Maryland Stadium Authority to money for the state lottery to build infrastructure to end Prince George's country, even if the Commanders leave the state. For now, that's all I have in the world of sports. I'm Grant Moore. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Grant. Joining us now, we have Addison for the last look at our weather.
What do you got for us?
Well, it's still working our way into spring. You guys know how Ohio works. We can hear the rain hitting the roof right now, and it looks like that's going to continue for a couple days. But the good news is it is going to get a little bit warmer as we move into next week.
Hopefully it stays warm this time. I really don't want it to go suddenly back to that cold.
Well, this is our third go-around, so we'll see what happens.
Third time's the charm. So, thanks for joining us for today's edition of WCMO Channel 15, 12:30 and 6:30.
From all of us here at the station, we wish you a great weekend.